Welcome into this carrier update. I'm Tony Mulvey, joined by Donny Gilbert. Donny, get a breakdown. Diesel fuel again. Obviously, seeing the rack price, we saw the decline earlier in the week. Slight uptick. That volatility is still in the market, and until that subsides, you're not going to see diesel prices on the retail side decline. And I think that's the concern is we moved up another, 2.5 cents a gallon
so almost
overnight?
7 cents in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And so, and of course, we talked about the gap between retail and wholesale. Until that's satisfactory for the stations, it's going to continue to go up right now. So we look at it here, the rack price dropped back down, but came just back up just a little bit yesterday to 345. But our average retail price still pushed up to 4.46. Yeah. So around the country, we got stations that are still increasing their fuel prices. And they will, this volatility that had kind of slowed down with the rack price has picked back up. Mm-hmm. And then you add in a hurricane with it, where it threatened some of the oil rigs in the Gulf, a big scare, that allowed it to push it back up. If this hurricane decides it's going to take a U-turn and come back, it could go back across Florida and back in the Gulf and scare again. So that's not going to allow diesel fuel prices to go down, not as long as that that storm system is still in a weather pattern. Yep. So we'll see what's going to happen. Then we got the holiday. We're not going to see fuel prices drop right before a holiday weekend. No. So there's a lot going on. And Tony, we only have about 45 days till that winter fuel starts picking up in the Northeast and Midwest. Yeah. So about 45 days for fuel prices to come down. It's not going to come down a whole lot. So fourth quarter is going to be tough on carriers because of fuel prices. Yeah, I mean, even if you started that dropping at a penny a drop a day, you're not falling below $4 a gallon. I mean, that is a concern. And I mean, when we've talked about it, this is a catalyst to help churn capacity. And I think again, we've talked about it, that needs to happen. It's taken so long for it to happen. This was a conversation with Luke Velasquez yesterday and with Sonar. If you look at the growth we looked at it yesterday here as well, right? Yeah. That net change in authorities, the growth, I mean, you were talking adding net growth of 1,500 authorities a week throughout 2021. Right now we're losing 500. So I mean, you're making a dent, but it's not a meaningful dent yet. Yeah. You continue that for the next 3-4 months, will. There have been some bumps in the roads that have helped push spot market rates up just a little bit here and there throughout the year. And it's allowed these carriers to kind of hang on. Mm-hmm. And if they can hang on to fourth quarter and get a little bit better paying rate, then they can hang on a few more months into the next year as well. And hope that. But we're not going to have that big of a fourth quarter this year. So that could be the factor they get in, like, hey, we need these extra funds. Mm-hmm. We need this. Where's it at? Uh-oh. And then, well, I think we'll see a lot of washout come January and February of 2024. Absolutely. Let's jump to the next chart here. Our split now has jumped to 101. We probably need it up closer to 115, 120. I think before a lot of this will settle down. Mm-hmm. But as long as, we need either rack prices to come down or fuel prices to go higher, it doesn't look like rack prices is going to be coming down right now. So you're talking another 15-cent increase, 20-cent increase. I mean, you're talking 460, 470 a gallon. That's tough. Yep. And we got a few seconds left here. You were talking about, hey, they did a better job on Monday when we're looking at this NTID, average spot rates per day. Well, it came back down Tuesday, but jumped back up on Wednesday. You notice all these kind of peaks here, though, have been above our regular NTI. So what we're seeing here, we're seeing upward pressure, pricing pressure in the spot market towards shippers right now. And that's what we typically should see right before this weekend. Today's the last day of the month. Push your rates up, push them up all weekend long, and I'd push them up even early next week until these trucks can get back in their proper patterns, because you will have some drivers taking off and going home, which is going to mess up, some of the lanes here just for a few days. A little bit of disruption. Absolutely. Well, Donny, thank you so much for this update. We'll be sure to check in with you again a little later. Right now, we'll hand it back over to Kaylee Nix.